Our friends from Trinity Cafe have returned and are here to share new developments, events, partnerships, and how you can help this upcoming holiday season. Trinity Cafe is up next on Bayside. Good morning and welcome to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelly Sanders, and we are talking all about the Trinity Cafe. Welcome back to the show, Mandy. It's so nice to have you here. Mandy Cloninger, she is the Executive Director for Trinity Cafe, and of course we've got Volunteer Coordinator. Welcome to the show, Fern Rabel.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us again, Shelly.
Yes. Well, last time we had such a blast, and it was so nice to be able to share with the community what you're doing there. So without further ado, in case somebody watching today missed the first time you were visiting with us, tell us all about Trinity Cafe, where you're located, the locations.
Certainly.
Dish. Give us the dish. No pun intended. Or maybe it was.
Well, we are dishing dignity every day, Shelly. Our mission is really to restore the dignity of our hungry and homeless neighbors while serving a nutritious meal. And we do that by having wonderful folks like Fern serve with us. We utilize 32 volunteers every single day. We have a maitre d' who greets our guests at the door. They're seated at a beautiful table covered with a tablecloth. And then we serve a delicious 3-course meal. A super salad to start, a protein-rich entree, and then a dessert and a piece of fruit to conclude the meal. But really, we're all about the dignity because we sit and we build conversation around an intentional community at that dining room table, just like you do at home. So our volunteer serves, and we also have a volunteer who sits and really gets to know our guests, to encourage them, to help them along the way, and maybe to be just a listening ear some days.
Sure. So just to clarify, to kind of summarize for our viewers, this is like a fully functioning restaurant where people that wouldn't normally be able to afford a fine meal somewhere, go to a restaurant somewhere where someone can actually greet them, seat them, take their order, and walk through this entire process of a 3-course meal. Yeah. And you do this all for free, essentially for the customer or for the...
Thanks to a generous community, we're able to provide for anybody who's in need of a meal. And really
huge.
The circumstances that impact our guests, they're no different from the things that you or I might experience: a job loss, car accident, a health or a medical issue. We see folks from all sorts of different walks of life. Not only our homeless neighbors who are really struggling to get by and might rely on us for that meal, but folks who just don't have enough to get by. We see moms with small children who might not be fully employed right now, and they really do rely on us when they need us.
Sure. Now, who are the people that are waiting for them? Who are the maitre d's? Who are the wait staff, the chefs, etc.?
Sure. Well, we have a professional chef, Chef Ben Dazzo, and he joined us from the David A. Straz Center from the Performing Arts, and it's really his version of Chopped in the kitchen every single day. Yeah. He takes wonderful donated food products, purchases things to really make that beautiful culinary experience for our guests. And then our staff of volunteers are the hosts and the servers, folks just like Fern.
Fern, tell me about it, because you are a perfect example, because you are a volunteer, the volunteer coordinator over at Trinity too. So tell me about that. Well, how did you get into this? Let's start from the beginning. Okay. How did you come to be the volunteer coordinator?
Well, I was first a volunteer, and how I started that with Trinity Cafe was I was just looking for opportunities to serve in the Tampa area, and I was looking for ways to be involved with serving food, and I went online and I found Trinity Cafe's website, and it's a great website if you're looking for flexible volunteer opportunities, because you can see where the days that they really need people, the days are color coded. So as a volunteer, you can see if a day is green, they're full. They have maybe 28 to 32 people, and they're fully staffed. I like to look for days that are red, that are desperate, where they desperately need help that day. And I started out just volunteering, and there's so many ways to be involved in the food service, from being a server to being a table host, sitting and talking and engaging with people that may not be speaking to anyone else out in the community.
Tell me about that part, because this is where I find you all, in addition to the unique factor of coming in, being greeted by a host and being seated, that is unique in and of itself. But then you go the extra mile, and your volunteers, your wait staff, actually sits and speaks to them, and this is where you're speaking to your "we serve dignity" or "dish up dignity" as well. Tell me about this part of it, talking with the guests that come in.
Right. It's such a beautiful part of the service that we provide, because when we do have enough volunteers and we're able to put table hostesses at each table, otherwise we're serving and hosting at the same time, which is also a fun time, but to really engage with them. And you know, the reality is these are people that may not have the community support where they're interacting every day with people. These may be people that people cross the street to avoid, and you just every day don't get the dignity and respect and the human contact that they can get when, you know, I love to welcome them. Thank you for joining us. My name is Fern. I'm going to be your hostess today, or your server. Eye contact. I get lots of handshakes and hugs, and it's just a warm experience. I leave with so much more than I give every day. So it's just a wonderful, you know, we're there for 2 hours, over 2 hours, but the 1 hour that we engage with our guests is just makes my day.
Sure, I can sense just how much joy it gives you personally. Do you have any favorite stories, any particular guest in mind, or they all touch you in a different way?
You know, we get little, as Mandy said, we get these little kids that come in, Peaches and Scooter, a brother and sister team that come in, and they run in and they have their favorite servers, and they'll run up and be so excited they'll get their own high chair sometimes. And then, you know, we get elderly people that just really don't have any family, and there's so much to learn from them. And these stories are just so colorful and rich and heartbreaking too at the same time. And you know, then the other part that really touches my heart are the younger generation, because you think, where are they going to be? What does the future hold for them? And so,
were you shocked to surprise people's journey on how they ended up in the situation that they're in, that they find themselves here?
Sure. I mean, we have people from all over the country, and you know, I talk to people that have been educated, have had families, have had jobs, and then just fall on hard times. You realize that how fragile, you know, the work world is today. That people do live paycheck to paycheck, cash, you know, hand to mouth, and then sometimes, you know, I've served lunch to people that are working, people that are on their lunch hour, that struggle so much to just make ends meet despite the fact that they're working, that the one hot, nutritious meal that we can provide really helps them keep it together.
Yeah. Wow. Really quickly, Mandy, where are your locations?
Certainly. We have 2 locations right now in Tampa. They're located at 2801 North Nebraska, just north of downtown. And then our second location, where Fern serves, is at 2202 East Bush Boulevard. And we're hopeful that in 2018 we'll be over here in Pinellas County as well.
All right, well, we're keeping our fingers crossed, and we'll keep an eye on that. There's the website right there if you'd like to log on and perhaps join Fern and her volunteer activities. You can always log on to trinitycafe.org. Now, while you check that out, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back and tell you about a fantastic event coming up after this. Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelley Sanders. We've been talking all about Trinity Cafe with Mandy Cloninger, and we have another guest on the show, Mr. Rick Bennett, and you are with Florida Blue.
Yes.
So you are a title sponsor, or Florida Blue is a title sponsor for this fantastic upcoming event. I know you at home are like, well, what's the event? I want to be involved. And that is Stick a Fork in Hunger. I absolutely love the title. How cute. And every way you look at it, and for such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So without further ado, let's talk about this event. big things are happening. For you at home, you're looking at the website right now, so you can get tickets there, trinitycafe.org/event. That's the actual page within the website that you were looking at, and hopefully these tickets don't sell out. Oh my goodness, you don't want to miss this. But we're telling you about it in case they do sell out. You can always attend next year or get involved in the meantime and join Fern. You heard from her earlier in her volunteer efforts. So tell me about Stick a Fork in Hunger.
Certainly. We're actually going to transform Trinity Cafe. Every day after lunch when we serve our guests, we're going to turn it into a culinary experience. And so on Thursday night, we're bringing in Booyah Ramen to do a real spin on a college favorite. Friday night will be bourbon, beer, and barbecue, which will be a fantastic fun evening. And then Saturday night, we're going to do Tito's infused vodka dishes with a couple of celebrity chefs. So every night will just be a really fancy culinary experience that will mimic actually what we do at lunch for our guests, but will engage the local community to really get involved and learn more about hunger and homelessness, as well as raise money to support our meal program each and every day, because every $2.50 we raise will help to support serving a delicious 3-course meal with dignity.
Fantastic. Now, how much are the tickets?
Tickets are $150 for one night, and you can pick your night to attend,
Sure.
or you can purchase all 3 nights for $300.
Okay, well, that was my next question, because how in the world, how would you pick which night to go to? My goodness. I mean, they're all fantastic. Love the themes. Every one of them sounds absolutely delicious. And so while this is going on, so while the food and imbibing and everything is happening, what else should I expect?
Well, you can expect entertainment every night, a lot of fun activity. Our celebrity chefs will be there with Chef Ben in the kitchen, so you'll get to learn what they're up to and cooking in the kitchen. You'll hear some exciting guest stories as we share kind of the faces of Trinity Cafe and what our guest experience is like. And thanks to Florida Blue, hopefully we'll be engaging lots of community members who will just get to learn a little bit more about us, as well as hunger and homelessness in our community, because I don't think everybody knows that nearly 350,000 people in Hillsborough and Pinellas County don't necessarily know where their next meal is coming from.
Wow.
And that's 1 in 4 children, 1 in 6 people you know. It's folks you go to church with, folks you go to school with, you see in the grocery store that might be struggling to get by.
Especially when you put it into perspective of 1 in 6 individuals. I mean, any random place that you may be, just count 6 people, 1 in that group of 6. That right there really puts it into perspective and kind of hits home, or it should. So for you, Rick, talk to me about Florida Blues participation and how exciting this is, and from Florida Blues perspective on this event.
Sure. Well, Florida Blue is an insurance company here in town, here in Florida. We've been here for 70 years. We're Florida-based. But one of the most important things about us is that we're mission-based, and so we're not beholden to stock shareholders, to the stock market. We are able to put a lot of our money back into the community through innovation, through hopefully savings for people, but also through our foundations and giving to organizations like Trinity Cafe. Our primary mission is to help Floridians and the community of Floridians to achieve better health. And so one of the ways that we see that we can help in that mission is not just through providing health insurance, but it's also in helping organizations like yours in their mission, which is to feed homeless people and to feed those that may not have a meal, because the foundation of healthcare is food, and we can look at food as medicine. And if you do not have a healthy meal, if you're not eating healthy, you're probably going to end up sicker, you're probably going to end up in the hospital, and you're probably going to die younger. And so we see that one of the ways that we can help just the community of Florida achieve better health is by helping organizations like Trinity Cafe in their mission to provide food.
Hearing those words and coming from a company, a representative of a company, that it's so important, what do those words mean to you from Trinity Cafe's perspective?
Certainly. Well, we wouldn't exist without a generous community of supporters like Florida Blue, local corporations, businesses, individuals who get involved and who give so generously. When I think about Florida Blue's involvement and how food is medicine and hunger's I mean, when folks are hungry, they can't meet other needs. It's hard to study, it's hard to learn, right? It's hard to think about getting employment if you haven't had a meal. And at Trinity Cafe, we really are focused on putting fresh food, a healthy plate in front of folks. It's why we start with typically a salad that includes lots of fresh, healthy greens, and every single meal has local, fresh produce, because we partner with other folks like Feeding Tampa Bay, which I know Rick's also involved with, which is our local food bank, and they donate and allow us to purchase great food, great local fresh vegetables and fruit that we can include in each and every meal to serve our guests with dignity.
Sure. Just to put it in a perspective for us, about how much does it cost per person to feed each of your clients?
Well, with generous donations, we're able to keep that per plate meal cost, the whole 3 courses, the super salad, the protein-rich entree, a vegetable, typically a starch or carbohydrate, a dessert, and a piece of fruit for about $2.50 per meal.
Wow. And that's because of volunteers, because of the local connections with food sources, etc. Wow. All right, you want to know how you can help out? Well, you're looking at the website right there. That's also how you can get tickets to this fantastic event coming up here November 16th through the 18th. That's trinitycafe.org/event. If you care to just volunteer, trinitycafe.org. Go check it out while we take a break. Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelley Sanders. I've been speaking with Mandy Cloninger all about Trinity Cafe, and of course we've got joining us right now, we have Rick. Welcome from Florida Blue. Now, we've been talking all about Stick a Fork in Hunger, talking about how important it is, and I love the fact that Florida Blue's standpoint on that is it starts, I mean, it really and truly starts with the basis, and sometimes that basis is a meal. You know, if you're not, there's so many statistics out there that show us the health benefits of eating healthy meals. Absolutely. And starting that at an early age, and why this is so important. So that being said, you know, we've got a lot of holidays coming up.
Certainly.
And these holidays that are coming are those that are just surrounded by food, and one in particular with Thanksgiving right around the corner. I can't imagine, I mean, that time of the year where it's so celebratory and it's a feast, yet for so many that tends not to be the case. How do our viewers go about helping with all of that?
Certainly. Well, what do you consider giving somebody who's already got everything, right?
Right.
You've got some of those tough people to shop for in your family too, I'm sure, Shelley.
Sure.
Well, you might consider giving a meal. Help dish up dignity at Trinity Cafe each and every day. For just $25, you can provide 10 meals to folks in our community. And I think some of our guests are appearing on the screen now as I'm talking. This child might be able to have a meal, and you could give that as a gift. And we'll drop a card in the mail to your friend or your family member. And we all have time, we have talent, we have treasure that you can give. So if you can join us at Trinity Cafe and give to help someone else in the community, I think that would make your holiday season super special.
Sure. What a great idea. I mean, really and truly, what a great idea. And certainly if you're in the area and can volunteer, maybe start a tradition in your family where your whole family comes out and helps. And Fern made a good point to show just how simple it was online. You pick your days, so it's not even a matter of picking up the phone and trying to figure it out with your calendar. You just go online. I love that aspect of it. So, and at $2.50, you can feed 10 people with $25. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I want to really quickly come back to you, Rick, and ask sort of the opposite question that I asked Mandy earlier, which was, it's obvious that your help, Florida Blue's help, is priceless. You really, you are essential to what they do. From your perspective, or from Florida Blue's perspective, what does it mean to you to be a part of something so meaningful in the community?
You know, one thing for us, being a Florida-based company, the people that we come into contact on a daily basis, the people that are at Trinity Cafe, they're our neighbors. You know, these are the people that we know but if we don't know them, our friends might know them. And so these are our people, and they may be a member at Florida Blue, they may not be, but they definitely are part of the same community that we're part of. And so helping out the people that are part of our community is integral to our mission, partially because we're a healthcare company, but also because we're Floridians. And we do not like the idea of any of our neighbors going hungry. We do not like the idea of any of our neighbors being sick.
I don't think anyone could really embrace that. All right, so you heard it from Rick, you've heard it from Fern. Both of these people are intricate details of what goes on with Trinity Cafe, and you've certainly heard from Mandy. All right, so check out the website, trinitycafe.org. We're going to break and coming back after this. Get out, get involved in your community, get your tickets to Stick a Fork in Hunger, trinitycafe.org. We'll see you next time on Bayside.